Are we back?
Hopefully that might be a bit better.
We'll try it.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be the only way around. It's just going to take a bit of common sense, isn't it?
Yeah. Common sense ain't all that common nowadays.
Unfortunately, that is totally correct. Right, as I said before, there you go. That's the sound better. Just speak up because it's obviously gone quiet for some reason.
Right.
So, the questions are going to come in from the thing. So I'll start with these people here. What's your favourite deception to beat a shooter? Speed, angle, or distance?
On a sporting stand, a combination. The typical combination is a long, fastish, high crosser, primarily like a Batu or a standard, and then coming down and a little floating, slow incomer coming towards your feet. Really, I've used that several times with great success from my part.
Yeah, it makes. I'm struggling to that. This is pretty annoying. I can't hear you.
I can hear you, crisp as clear.
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's like my phone's not working. Like there's something wrong with the mic thing because all I can hear is like you on volume 1, and I can normally can hear you on 10.
No idea.
No, right. Hold it there 1 second. I'm going to go and get my earphones. I'll do it that way. 1 sec. Right. We'll do it this way. Okay, try that now.
Is that better?
Ah, that's it. There's something wrong with my microphone on my phone. I've just switched from the iPad to the phone.
Yeah, okay.
That's perfect. Yeah, so carry on, mate. So that was a question coming in. So you said you like to mix it up and just try and beat everybody with a bit of everything.
Bit of combination on the sporting stand, really. You know, it's very hard to go from a big lead in the sky where there's no reference point at all.
Yeah.
Drop your gun down and a little floaty incomer with a background coming in at you and landing 6-7 yards away. I've done it several times. The one I really remember well is the classic at Windrush I did in 2014.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Pink incomer.
Yeah.
And there was more of them pink incomers on the floor after that shoot than anything intact.
Yeah, I think it's and I think obviously I'm going to ask the questions. They're not all my questions, but I was hoping that was going to be the answer. You want a balanced round, don't you, where people think they've missed a bit of everything?
Yeah, you know, I can beat everybody with a fast, flat out double spring Promatic trap with a standard 70 yards away.
Yeah.
But what's the point?
Yeah, everyone,
you know.
Exactly. So, as you've gone into that, that's for a regular sporting stand that what you would put on for the major. Then just say we've now got the 25 bird 6-man final. What changes?
Nothing from my point of view. I still want a nice balanced 25 bird shoot.
Yeah.
Generally, there's a crowd of people watching. They want to be entertained. They want to see the best of the best try and break them or miss them. And another one that always springs to mind is when we talk about this is the Troy Food Fitas final behind Westfield Barn.
Yeah.
I think it was 2015 or 2016. You were in it.
I made both of them, yeah.
You know, the first two stands were relatively close, 25 yards away.
Yeah.
But the pressure of you lot thinking, I can't miss these because look who I'm shooting against, it just builds pressure yourselves and people make human error and people misplay.
I think there's been some serious mistakes made in super finals.
Yeah, and to be fair, Ben, I'll hold my hands up. The very first one I did, I was probably guilty of it myself.
I can't. Which one was that? I don't remember.
I did the classic one down in Windrush again, 2014, down at the farm behind the barn, and I put a Batu on there, and I bet it was 70 yards, and George was the first one to go up. And he said, "Let's see."
George who?
I showed him George Digweed.
I don't know.
No, well, you've probably heard of him. And he just stood there chuckling at it. And you learn by your mistakes, don't you?
Yeah, I think, but I think everyone's allowed to make a mistake once. But to still be making them now, it's like I remember Richard Bunnings, wasn't it, at Biddy's one time? He shot 117 out of 120. Went on the first peg of the super final, hit none out of 10.
Yeah, off that tower.
It's like, whoa. Because I'm a great believer that the super final should match the round.
Yeah, we agree with that.
Otherwise, you've got the wrong shooters in the super final.
Yeah.
If, you know what I mean. If you've got a hard shoot, you need a hard final. If you've got an easy shoot, you need an easy final.
Yeah.
I love Hodnett. I love Tom's shoots, but I think the super final last year at the English, I don't know what he was thinking.
I didn't shoot it, so I don't know. I wasn't there.
The shoot was great. It was just the final. I mean, the only reason we didn't go any further back was the clubhouse was in the way. that's the only thing that stopped us going further back. That he put the clubhouse in the wrong spot.
You've all got big chokes, haven't you? Tight chokes.
It wasn't the chokes, mate. You can only go as far as the pellets will go. Here's an interesting one. I'm not going to tell you who it's come from, but you'll probably guess. So you probably set the most targets of anybody in the country. That can't. No, Owen, you're dead right. I couldn't hit him. You're dead right. So you probably set more targets than anybody in the country throughout the year, and also probably more. You probably see more of the top shooters shoot throughout the year.
Yeah.
It's not very often that one of your shoots is not attended by probably somebody you classify in the top 10.
No.
Do you believe, as a target setter, you know the top shooter's weaknesses?
Yes, to some extent.
No, I'd have thought that'd have been yes. I'd have thought that'd have been a yes.
Yeah, I do. It's not that I watch them more, but when you stood round in a super final, and I've run several super finals over the years, you just remember the ones they missed.
Yeah, I'm going to say I think I could beat most of them, and I think most of them could beat me, if you know what I mean. I think I think you could certainly get to know weaknesses. I know I was laughing and joking about who's George and that then, but it's quite a well-known fact, and he struggles at your majors.
Yeah.
That's not the way I wanted that to come out. We all suffer at your majors because if you don't rock up at 110%,
yeah, you ain't going to win it.
You're not going to win it. Yeah, that came out wrong. It wasn't how that was meant to come out. So here's one from me, and this is something I've been thinking about since the Dubai shoot that we had years ago.
Yeah.
What's the chances of doing I'm going to say non-registered for the reason that I can shoot it.
Birds only.
So get all of the cartridge companies together. Get like 5 cartridge companies together.
Mm.
Do 3 stands each, and you have to use their shell on that stand.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is a completely level playing field. So Game Board might put White Gold on this stand, Velocity on that stand, Dark Storm on that stand. Hull might put Pro Pistons on this one for a close one. And what do you reckon?
Is it going to become a bit of a battle of target quality? And
Well, what I think is they should all give you a 9, an 8, and a 6.5, and you set the targets to match what they give you.
yeah,
So all of them get an easy, a medium, and a hard stand.
Yeah, it's doable, isn't it? There's enough manufacturers out there. There's enough shells kicking around.
And I just think you'd have a fantastic, fair event. And talking as a totally unbiased, they might people might shoot one. I've never used them before. It might be a selling point for them.
Yeah, well, yeah, we've done it at different shoots. Well, Dubai, like you say, we use the Fiocchis, didn't we? But yeah, we could give it some thought.
I just think it's going to be a completely fair playing field, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You're not going to get any of this. Oh, he shoots that and he shoots that. It comes. When you book on, you pay an entry fee that includes your shells, so it's going to be a slightly higher entry fee, but you're not paying for your shells.
Yeah. And we could, definitely, yeah.
I'd like to see that. I think it'd be quite good if they all gave you a 9, an 8, and a 7.5 or something like that, and you just set they all get one easy, one medium, and one hard, and then away they go. I'd like to see that. You can put my commission in the post when you run that one.
Yeah, right. Okay, I'll do that.
So as a ground owner and somebody that goes out, and I'm not just bigging you up, but you probably give back from the, you sponsor your own high gun prizes. You don't take it from the shooters, which is fantastic. But when you go out there to rebrand and you're going to try and get outside sponsorship from outside of the sport, what changes do you think we need to make as the sport as a whole? I was just going to kick one in as like a dress code. What's your thoughts on that?
I think the whole scenario needs smartening up a little bit. I run shoots for a living. I love competing, but it ain't a spectator sport.
No, we're not going to make it a spectator sport. That's for definite.
I don't know to get the outside sponsors. It's a big one. It's probably.
But
to be honest,
the people that moan about it. So obviously you've met him quite a few times now. You've met a good friend of mine, Suba.
Yeah.
So if I say to Suba, like, I want you to sponsor some huge events in the UK, and I bring him to Westfield, we drive down the drive. You know what he said to you. He wants to come there and open it for the week, and he wants to shoot it.
Yeah.
We drive down the range. It looks spectacular. He walks into the bathroom, and due to his religion, it's perfectly clean, and he loves it. He walks onto the range. It's amazing. Now I can sell that to him. The next Sunday, we went to somewhere I'm not going to mention that's got chimneys in the background.
Right.
And he, don't ever bring me here again. But then that person is one of the people that moan, we don't get any outside money. Well, you're not going to.
But to some extent, we're our own worst enemy, aren't we?
Exactly.
People, they want nice places, and I'm talking about general shooters. I'm not isolating anybody at all, but the shooting community, they want things done on the cheaper end of the scale.
Correct.
And what events could we put on, and how could we big up prize money if the entry fee was another 10-15 quid a head? I'm just saying. No,
I agree with you. I think as a person that's in it for the money, I think it's a great idea, but I also see the reason why the guy at the bottom doesn't want to pay more, because he can only just afford to do it now. But it doesn't stop them putting the entry fees up. We've got birds only for a reason, but I do think there is room for manoeuvre.
Yeah,
especially with the dress code and things like that. And I think, like I say, with your grounds, you obviously, for me, you look at Westfield, you look at Oak Edge that you use, what you've done at Garland since you've been in there. Because you do a lot of it yourself, it's not a massive expense on labour, and other grounds could copy that. They just need to put the effort in.
It's putting the effort in, and I think to some extent, when I'm travelling around myself, it's having the foresight to do it.
Yeah, you've got to be able to see what the possibilities could be
on your particular piece of land that you're occupying.
Correct. Yeah, no, I agree with that part of it as well. But do you think there is room in the country for a professional class then? So where you can take that gamble and say, stick another 50 quid in? Because there's enough of us.
What, 50 quid a person?
Yeah.
We could try it. Funnily enough, I was up at Westfield yesterday mowing the grass and sat there on the mower merrily thinking of different ideas. And I was thinking about entry fees again. And yes, wouldn't it be great to up that prize fund, even on a box standard Sunday?
Yeah, but
it's that
as
stumbling block.
Yeah, as one of the people at the top of the sport, though, I can't expect you to put it in. We've got to put it in and take the gamble.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You've got to take the gamble. The birds only fee will be the birds only fee. That's set.
Yeah.
But the gamble is, will it only be you on a Sunday?
Yeah, that's the thing. Or can we sort of take lead from the Americans and go to almost like an option class? That's how they top it up.
Yeah, I don't really know how that works. I've never shot one, so I need to gen up on that a little bit.
Yeah, so all that happens is when you enter, they have an option class. So you put 20 quid in, and when all that's done, and it just goes 1, 2, 3. First gets 50%, second gets 30%, and the third gets 20%. That's it in each in the classes and overall. It costs you no extra. The only thing you've got to do is admin it.
Yeah.
But that's how they top it up. So only the people that play. So they play it in C class. They play it in all of the classes.
Yeah.
But
so you could shoot that over a normal box standard 100 registered sporting on a Sunday.
Yeah, you just have an option class at the end of it. I don't think you'd be able to do it but if you did one a month with an option on it, I think you'd drag more people from further away because they can, you literally only pay 3 places, 50, 30, 20, done.
Yeah.
So if you put if 5 people play it, it's 50, 30, 20, extra on top, and
we'll have a look at it when we get going again.
Definitely. That's one way that I've always thought we're a little bit behind them over there because it doesn't cost anybody. You don't have to find sponsors because the shooters are doing it.
Do you think there's enough people nowadays that still want to shoot for money? Because with the advent of social media, people do like hitting big scores and they do it for the enjoyment.
Yeah, agreed.
And I do think since we started in 2004, the element of competition, to some extent, has been lost along the way of that.
Yeah.
If I stick a harder shooter on where we have a high gun of 91, I can guarantee I have so many niggles about that than what I will when I shoot one on 98.
Yeah, agreed. I totally get that as well. But what with the idea with the option money is exactly what Christine's just put there. It's play or don't. It doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
If you don't, it's not like it's an entry fee increase where it affects everybody. This is either play or don't.
Yeah, we could definitely. Yeah, we'd look at that. No problem at all.
And what you find is the guy that wins it generally hasn't played it, and it goes to the second guy.
Yeah.
You have to play. You have to play to win. Somebody's just put there. A voluntary pool that they do in fishing matches.
Yeah. We can, definitely look at that. Yeah.
Because the other thing with shooters, you see a bloke walk around Westfield. He's got a 25 grand gun on his shoulder, and he's shooting shells that are loaded with sand. How are you putting them through that? He's like, I'll just buy the cheapest there is. But it's like, oh, Jesus Christ. I spoke to clients today in France, Italy, and Germany, and they're back shooting on Monday.
Are they really?
Yep. Italy is only if you have been considered for national teams that you can go back training. Germany are open, and France are allowed to open. I know Charles has said that he is not opening his grounds yet, but they can. And Germany are open, and Italy is open to national teams. So,
well, I've been saying for weeks, I sort of envisaged we'll be going by the end of May, early June, I reckon. But I'm certainly not going to be one, when they say, right, go. It's no good just everybody rushing straight in.
Yeah, no. Here's a question for you, mate, from Tom Willis. Could we have a competition once a year for, say, top 10 to 15 in the averages to shoot against each other like a knockout thing? Now, I'll let you answer it, then I'll give my idea on it.
Are the averages the true averages?
That's my problem. The averages are shit. That's the problem.
You look down the top 20 and you think...
Horn,
really
Kingsley Moore...
It doesn't matter where they get. It doesn't matter, does it? It's not a true reflection. You get somebody shooting 2,000 targets a year with an average of 95, and you get somebody shooting 15,000 with an average of 92. Well, to me, the 92s are better than the 95s.
But if you go to the world tennis rankings, they're all at the same events.
Yeah.
If you shoot Horn, you're going to have a big average. If you shoot Kingsley Moore, you're going to have a big average. If you shoot Westfield, your average is probably not going to be as good, but you're probably a better shot.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It's
Yeah.
No, I like the idea of that, Tom, but I don't think we can use the averages as a leader into it. What you could do, again, this is just throwing ideas at Steve. Steve could run a series throughout the year, and he could invite the top 10 from each class back or something like that. That would work. It's off the same.
Yeah.
It's off the same. You're singing off the same sort of hymn sheet there.
We could run a bit of a league over my 3 grounds.
Yeah.
And have a super final for that, something like that.
Yeah, you could do something along those sort of lines. Right, turning the page. We're on to page 2. We're rattling through them. Let's see if I've missed any on here, because I know the people wanted to ask you a lot of questions. We pay an entry fee of £35 and have to shoot DTL in the rain. A cover costs very little, but grounds won't do it. Good old Kenny, he loves it. He does, he really does. Yeah, one of the biggest problems is shooting is toilets. Yep, I agree with that.
Or lack of.
Yeah, or lack of, that's for sure. Right, one of the big questions. Steve's view on steel is the next one.
Steel shot.
Yeah.
I haven't got a view on it really. We used to do corporate entertaining on the River Thames a hell of a lot, and I've used thousands and thousands of them. We used the Hulk Pro steel at the time, 7-shot, and I put them through quarter choke and a half choke, and going away targets. They're just like a ball of dust.
Yeah, they're whack. There's so many pissing pellets in there.
I think I said at the last interview we did, I haven't shot them properly at any sporting shoots, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think we put the steel argument to bed with two guys that do shoot nothing but them. So,
yeah.
You know, the only way we're going to learn is to do more ourselves. But so you know Austin Coxhead very well. He's got a question for you. Do you think sporting fit-ass targets are softer now than years ago, or has the standard simply got better, or have they got softer and shooters have got better?
First of all, what do we call an easy and a hard target?
Here we go. We got him. You got him, Austin.
To me, an easy target or an easier target for me is a 45-yard standard crosser or a batu. A hard target for me is a little 5-yard rabbit. Now, I think the standard of shooter has got better. There's a lot more that can win a shoot now, potentially.
Yeah, agreed.
Which is definite. Yes, I think shoots have been pulled back in a little bit with the emphasis on a bigger score. I can't get away from that. I pulled mine back in a bit. You know, the fit-ass we used to do where Mark Windsor used to come when he was a young whippersnapper of a lad, and Dave Hughes from Wales. We used to have high guns of 85, 86 on them down at Westfield. Can't do that anymore. We wouldn't get away with it.
You wouldn't get no entries, would you?
No.
Unless you advertise it. I know the other year you did a couple of like Dubai warm-ups where you say, right, this is just going to be a hard one. Come or don't. I think.
And you know, you advertise that an extreme shoot. People come light-hearted. It's a bit of fun, and they enjoy it. We were going to do another one this year, but the plans have all been cocked up now. So who knows?
I mean, there are people out there that still want to shoot that big stuff, or people wouldn't travel to the Eurocache.
Yeah, the Eurocache is slightly different, isn't it? It's more. I went 2 years ago, and it's more about the occasion and the atmosphere.
Yeah, but the targets are out. They're stretched.
Are phenomenal. Oh, they were on the limit of a shotgun.
Yeah,
definitely.
So, but there is people out there that want to shoot them because.
Yeah. There's people out there that think they want to shoot them until they come up against them and they can't hit them, and it's all too hard.
Yeah, then they moan about it.
Yeah.
Do you think that we've got softer over here is maybe one of the reasons why Team USA have pulled away from us now?
No, I think those Americans are pretty dedicated kind of cookies, aren't they, really?
Yeah, but this is what, as one of the top shooters, I find that question. So, they haven't pulled away from us at all. There's just more of them. So, there's still only been 2 world fit-ass champions from America and 1 in sporting. 2 in sporting. That's not pulling away. You know, we've the last 4 years it's 2 and 2. That's even.
Yeah.
The problem being that a lot of people judge it on the team event.
Yeah.
Which is not a fair comparison of team to team. You know, I don't think we will ever see it. But if you said right, Ben, Mark, George, and Richard, we'd put up with their best 4. You know, so I don't think we're losing ground. We're just losing numbers.
Yeah. But we could learn a lot from the Americans in
Massively.
team spirit.
Yeah.
And how they conduct themselves, how they present themselves. it's a delight to see, to be honest.
You know, not only do they get their uniforms, they get told which colour to wear which day.
I know. They have the menu at breakfast on
Yeah.
the table.
Yeah.
I know.
You know, you're wearing red today, and
Yeah.
we can't even wear pants that have not got pockets on them. We will never win the best teams as you big boys won't shoot together. Sorry. Yeah, I agree with that, Christine, but I would. For a British team, I would certainly put myself forward. Well, not at the moment, but I would certainly put myself forward. I would love to go with that team. We might not have breakfast together and sit and have a chat around a table, but I would love to. I'd love to see that team go out there and do that. Yeah, 100%. I would put myself forward to that. Steve, people pay a lot of money to shoot ridiculous pheasants, so I would have thought people would pay to shoot harder targets. It's a different clientele, though, isn't it?
I've thought of that so many times. 30% on a good pheasant shoot. You get a high gun of that? I don't think so.
You'd certainly run into some trouble. So,
yeah.
One thing another question, and this guy wanted to stay anonymous. We had Alan Warren on last night talking about he shoots with one eye. And I know that and this guy obviously knows, that you've got an eye dominance.
Yeah.
You've tried many, many things to fix it, and I believe that you just simply settled with a piece of tape on your glasses. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So This guy knows you very well.
Yeah.
Do you think it holds you back, seeing more targets than you see? Or obviously, I was there in Wales the other week when you shot a 99 that simply wasn't there. You know, I truly believe it does not hold a shooter back. Only on straight driven.
Before I used to shoot one eye. I used to shoot my left eye. Excuse me. I was fine. I got from C class to sort of top of A class, and I couldn't go any further. As soon as I seen a teal stand or a straight driven,
that's the
it was a 0.
Yeah,
and I could not do anything about it. And then I was playing at Western Wood one day, and I thought somebody had told me about this tape on the glasses, so I thought, let's just try it. Yeah. So I put a bit of black insulation tape on my glass at the time. Only a little low tower, pressed it, puff of dust. Oh, bloody hell, there might be something in this. And then I went to it was Carl Bloxham I spoke to about it, and he said try the clear
Scotch tape,
clearish tape. So I put that on, and I've never looked back since. Yeah. Now I've taught myself to shoot with that. There's other aids on the market. You do one, SP do another.
Yeah, that wasn't a plug for me. I'm just trying to. What I've got is a lot of people that think that it's going to hold them back, and I truly don't believe it does.
No, I don't. No, I don't, because I've won shoots from 2009 all the way through.
Yeah,
using it. So,
you know, when they say you can't, and like Alan said last night, when they say you can't shoot with one eye, well, he's got no choice.
Yeah. Dave carries another.
Yeah, another one. Why is driven and teal? I'll let you answer this. Why is driven and teal a problem for one-eyed shooters?
Because I can't physically see the target.
Yeah. He goes blind behind the barrel.
It's as simple as that. It's just a guess.
Well, you're working on pure timing, aren't you? You hope you pull it in the right place instead of physically being able to drop it into a specific spot.
Yeah.
Right. Let's have a little chat about the British.
Yeah.
Because I think. Do you think that the CPSA will open up more days? Because I think that shoot's just going to run and run and run and run and run. Because everybody's going to, if it's on, I don't think you'll fit them all into the days that you've got.
It's on at the moment. We spoke to CPSA Ian Parker last time, and at the moment it's still on. We're opening up from the Wednesday to the Saturday night at the moment. Potentially we could do the Tuesday.
Because I saw your post. There's not many spots left, is there?
No, and to be fair, I checked again this morning, and from when I did my post yesterday, there's another 10 or 15 booked on. And I think we're only down. There's 50 spaces left.
Yeah, but I think the day that they say right, as from August you can shoot. I think there'll be hundreds more want to shoot that shoot.
Yeah, we got to be a bit sensible and a bit calm about it, haven't we?
Yeah,
I ain't going to do a 7-day shoot up there. I don't want to upset the neighbours.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? That yes, you can allow for the shooters to come in, but then you get shut down for not running another one.
Yeah, we've never had any hassles up there yet, and I don't want any.
Exactly. So. That's that's what I was talking about. What I know. So I know it's the same question that got asked last time, but we've got double the numbers watching you this time from last time. You stated so. What the question is? What will be your winning score for the British Open? But I remember your answer from last time is that you don't treat it that way.
Don't treat it that way. The first British we did, Brett Winstanley just come in with an absolute phenomenal.
Yeah, beat me by 2.
Yeah, and we didn't really think that was there. But I don't really worry about, because it's qualifying for the final. I don't. If we get 4 or 5 people on 118, does it matter? I want the other 1,200 people to come away and talk about the event.
Yeah, exactly.
That's more important to me than who's going to win it.
Yeah, no, and I think I'm going to ask the questions because there is a different crowd. I know some of them we did cover last time. Hi, Steve. Just booked on for the British Sport Trap today. Is it 100 birds?
Yes, James, it is. I spoke to James earlier, actually. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Some people are saying here, they'd probably be booking on for the Tuesday. Again, you answered this question. Sorry, mate. Do you think having your own ground helps you become a good shooter?
Yes, definitely.
But I think you can elaborate on that because I don't think it's for the shooting reasons.
No, it's not, because
that's important.
I never carry a gun with me. People laugh, really. They say, well, why'd you go to Coley's? Why'd you go to Richard Foley's when you got your own ground? I never, ever shoot my own ground. Yeah, that's what I think is important. I learned to shoot at my own ground or by viewing targets every time I set one up.
Yeah.
Every target I set, I'm shooting it in my mind.
Yeah. That's what I wanted you to make that clear, because what these people think, he shoots them all, and that's what I said. We've had this conversation before. No. When you understand how a gun works and you can break down your own style of shooting, you don't actually have to pull the trigger. You can look at a target and your brain automatically kicks into a competitive, how would I shoot it?
Yeah. I think that word visualization is massive.
Yeah.
And that's what I use when I'm setting targets. I try and visualize where people can shoot different targets in different positions and where their gun's going to finish to pick up the report bird or the Simo bird.
Yeah, agreed. Sam Stewart, who owns Paint Mine Wood Shooting Ground. I think people feel you shoot every day when you have a ground, and the reality is you shoot less.
I honestly, and on heart, I do get to a point. We go through the summer and it's flat out. I get to a point where I cannot stand looking at another clay pigeon. I honestly, I hate them. And then gradually the passion comes back, and I go out and shoot a bit, and then I get the hunger for it, and remember how I want to try and win, and we go from there. It's a full circle.
Yeah. No one's asked this one yet, and trust it to be a jock that brings it up. Should a target setter shoot his own shoots in a team qualifier, etc.?
It's not for me to make any rules and judgments, but on a personal feeling, no, I don't agree with it.
Well, FITAS have just put a stop to it, haven't they?
Well, there was a big hoo-ha years ago, wasn't there, about it? And I was involved with that. And when we wasn't allowed to know whether it was a rabbit, a batu, a standard, or a midi, or whatever. And no, I don't agree with it. I don't.
No, I don't. I think FITAS have done the right thing there. If you're going to be the target setter, you're not allowed to shoot it. Any tips for a novice target setter? I've done a couple so far for our club, but all tips are welcome.
You need to stand in a stand and think, how am I going to get people to hit this clay?
Right, left, tall and short.
Yeah. And, I've made that mistake before when we first started. Well, I stood behind a hedge and I'm 5'11", and I thought, that's fine, I can see that. And then somebody 4'0" comes along and he physically can't see it.
Yeah.
So now, I bend down and think, right, what's it like from 4 foot down?
Yeah, but what makes me laugh is when people criticise that person. Hang about. When you started doing your job, you messed up as well.
Me?
No. I'm saying when other people say, when you say you did it at one of your first shoots, well, you haven't done it since. That's the difference, is when you learn. I find I think sometimes people's criticism if they sat back and said, "Well, this is my first day," I just think we're very, as shooters, we're very quick to criticise anything.
Yeah. It's got to be one of the worst hobbies, sports, for criticism from the participants. It's got to be.
Yeah,
And
but that's social media as well.
A lot of it, if you analyse it, it's basically because they've had a bad day and they haven't hit what they think they should hit.
Yeah, agreed.
It's too easy, it's too hard, it's too high, it's too low, it's too fast, it's too slow.
He shouldn't be in my class. He's sandbagged.
But I'm of the opinion now. I try to put the balance shoot on as I can, and if I can get them clays off the trap in a visible position for everybody to shoot in several different spots how they want to shoot it, and it lands within 2 or 3 yards of each other every time, I've done my job.
But I think it's quite interesting. As a ground owner, it's very, very easy to know if you're doing a good job because you've got entries.
Yes. Yeah, even some of the biggest moaners we've got still keep coming back.
Exactly. So you're doing something right. On the run up to a major competition, Steve, do you monitor the weather conditions closely?
Yes. Particularly wind direction.
Yeah, and then what is it? Then ask the second one. What would you personally do if some freak wind turned up on like a British Open and one day is going to be... It doesn't really matter now because of the qualification days.
Yeah.
But before the qualification days, it was brutal because you could just get talked out of it by the weather. What would you get round it with?
Over a 3 or 4 day shoot, basically, you need to leave yourself a little bit of leeway.
More spring, less spring, more up, more down.
The springs. If I tension one of the big springs up and leave it with another 2 inches of adjustment on it, and I'm happy with that. If we come into a headwind the following day, I can go out there and tweak it, wind it up a bit, and push it to the same spot.
Correct.
Now, if the wind's coming at right angles and it's pushing the clays out, we can tweak the traps in first thing in the morning to get them back in the same spot again. We know where the same spot is because there's a pile of clays on the floor.
A big pile of them, yeah.
It's like the pegs on the skeet range, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's the jobs we do from 6 o'clock in the morning before anybody gets there.
No, agreed. It's so important, but I say nowadays it's not so important because all you've got to do is be the best on that day in that wind.
Yeah, and wind is our biggest enemy without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
And that's why I like to use quite a big spring, push them on, and they will drive generally through a wind and be quite consistent.
Darren Moon, do you think some shooters have mastered your targets?
I think some shooters shoot my shoots better than others. Yeah, of course I do. Yeah. But some shooters I see 3 or 4 times a month, and some I see once a month.
Yeah.
And it's like a home advantage, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's quite important as well. How does the sun's movements figure in your setup?
We've always got the sun in mind, particularly in the winter. The winter can be an absolute pig. This winter at Westfield was a pig from about 2 o'clock, 2:30, on 2 specific stands that we have to use sometimes.
That's what I was on one of the squads at Westfield that day, and we got to one area, that little pond.
Yeah.
And somebody said, well, why aren't they up there? I was like, because if that cloud wasn't there, mate, you wouldn't see them.
Yeah. It's critical. I've made mistakes with that. Of course I have. We've put new stands in at Westfield now to eliminate that problem.
Yeah, I saw that. Whereabouts on the ground are they?
Well, we've put a new track up through the back of the wood where I can put more traps and stand people, but you're going to stand and shoot clays in different perspectives.
Yeah, it did look like a good bit of work going on there.
Yeah.
And a lot of picnic tables. You'll be having some sandwiches.
But it's not, the sun again. It's not only we touched on this last time. It's not just a visual in your face thing. Yeah, it affects the appearance of clays as well.
It can hurt you from everywhere.
Yeah.
What are your views on the level referees should be at a registered shoot? The majority are on point, but some can be poor.
That is the hardest part of my job, without a shadow of a doubt. Is getting enough refs or scorers or markers, whatever you want to call them, on a Sunday. People that have been visiting me at Westfield, regularly this winter have noticed we've had a younger element with us now. That's not a wrong thing to do. I've been training them. We keep check on them, and some of them youngsters are as good as some of the qualified ones.
But when I've had a couple, not your shoots specifically, but I've had some people complain to me about the age of the referees, and I said, well, where do you think the adult refs are going to come from? You know, you don't just walk into a pub and pull them out. You've got to start them somewhere.
You see, I thought we're surrounded by commercial game shoots in the Cotswolds here.
Yeah.
So I thought it's easy. We'll just tap into the beta scenario. They'll go beating on a Saturday. They'll come scoring on a Sunday, but they won't. They're just not interested in it.
Still got the hangover on Sundays.
And it will be, not a shadow of a doubt, it will be an issue for CPSA in future years.
Yeah.
Qualified referees to do what we want them to do.
Because, you know, with the youngsters, you get inexperience but better eyes.
Yeah.
With the old ones, you get experience but they can't see.
Yeah.
You know, you end up with a catch-22, really.
Yeah.
But again, you're not going to please everybody. Referees make mistakes. It doesn't matter if they're old or young.
Hey, I've taught Harry and Charlie, my lads, and I do it myself. Every time you go to a stand, wait politely, put your card in when they're free. Don't just budge straight.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't rocket science, is it? Just appreciate what they do and help them out.
No, but somebody will say like, "Oh, I went to so and so shooting at the weekend. They had a 15-year-old kid. And he didn't see me kill one." I was like, "Well, I went to so and so. We had a guy with a Great Britain badge referee, and he didn't see it either." So, you know, you can't get him right or wrong. You're not going to please everybody.
No.
Ricky G, do you set targets with the lower class shooters in mind to make everybody happy? Well, we know that. Yes, we definitely. Yeah, it does. That's a fact. At a major, how many targets do you think should come off elevated platforms?
In a major?
Yeah.
I missed that first sentence.
Yeah.
It depends on the ground you're working with. You know, I'm not giving too much away, but for the British this year, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 cherry picker scissor lifts already at Garland's, and I've provisionally booked another 4 big telehandlers.
Right.
So there's going to be a nice element of aerial stuff.
A lot of varieties.
But I've got to do it because the ground's dead flat.
Yeah.
We've got natural topography, as in nice bushes, nice hedges, trees, ponds to work with. Yeah. But you still need some aerial stuff. Where at Westfield, we've got the banks there, so we've got natural aerial stuff.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. You've got to work with what you've got to work with, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know, when you shoot along that bank at Oak Edge, it's like shooting all off towers and there's not a tower in sight.
Yeah.
You know, it's what you've got.
Yeah.
From Louis, when setting sim pairs, Steve, do you believe that the shooter should be able to shoot either bird first? Some shoots feel like your decision is made by the setter.
Generally, sorry, I'm just putting this phone on charge. Yes, generally, you should be able to shoot how you want to shoot. A left-hander will shoot different to a right-hander. Sometimes I do force your hand a little bit if I want to push people through. Where there's like a rabbit and something coming in from a long distance, you've got to shoot the rabbit first.
Yeah.
But generally, to be fair, I try to leave the option to you guys. And it's really funny because the way I think, well, I would shoot that this way. 2 people in the squad would do it.
And 2 go away.
One would change and miss them. And then the other ones would follow the one that missed them.
Yeah, I said that. Shooters like cattle. There was a question right back at the top that I said I'd come back to later on. Is there any UK... there's a couple of here that are pretty much the same, from Christine and somebody else. Is there a shooting ground in the UK that you don't run that you'd like to set targets at, or is there a piece of ground that you know that you would like to set targets at?
Not really. I like any shooting grounds, to be fair. I do tend to urge towards the natural ones, and what I call natural is like Westfield, like it's just an open field.
Yeah.
I don't like being penned in too many boards and things. But no, any ground you can put a shoot on any ground, can't you?
Steve, if you had 100,000 to put into the sport, he's got more than that. Where would you invest it?
In top level competitions, I think, but not just for the top guys, for everybody to enjoy.
Which is like what I'm doing in Ally In. Know, if you win C class, you get the same as the guy that wins it.
Yeah.
I think the big mistake with that question is everyone says juniors, and that's the worst place to put it.
Yeah.
Have you any? Okay. Do you have any ideas how you can introduce new types of targets from specifically designed traps for a specific target? Do you wish there was a trap out there that did something that it doesn't already do?
No, not really, because I think I've often thought about a midi rabbit.
A midi rabbit,
That could be quite interesting.
I know you said last time you wanted a teal batu, didn't you?
Yeah. But we can do that with, the modern day Pro-Matic and Laporte. I don't know Laporte's inside out, but I'm guessing, we can do pretty much what we want to do with them.
Problem with the teal batu is you don't know where it's coming down.
Yeah.
What goes up's got to come down. That's a problem. But no, I like the idea of a midi rabbit. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
So,
Pro-Matic are always looking at it. The upside down one bouncing on the pond, I like that. That's a novel, nice target. It's quite consistent.
Yeah, no, I agreed. There was just a question from there. Right, we're not going to place. I don't want to go back too far with what happened before, but it's just an interesting question. If there is an elevated platform, do you think people should be given the option to shoot it from the floor instead if they suffer from vertigo? We don't need to mention any shoots, but what's your thoughts on
that? More people suffer from vertigo than I thought they did after the British I did at Oak Edge.
I wasn't going to bring it up. I wasn't going to bring the shoot up.
Well, it is what it is, isn't it? I've done it now. I thought it'd be welcome.
I loved it. I loved it.
I went out to the Eurocash 2 years ago with Dave Kempley, a mate of mine, and as soon as we got on the ground, he said, "Come on." He said, "We're going down here." I said, "What are we doing?" He said, "Come on, I want to show you this." He said, "You'll love it." It's that elevated platform down the bottom, and it was brilliant, and it was another 2 or 3 stories higher than the one we had at Oak Edge, and it was fab. And but I don't know.
But do you think they should be given the option to shoot from the floor?
It's not a fair competition, is it?
No.
Disabled, yes, I get that, because they're shooting generally in their own class. But no.
No, I agree. I agree with you. If you want to
find, I assure you that there won't be anything like that at Garland's this year. I'm not saying never, but I'm saying there won't be anything as high as what that was.
Here's a great question for you. Like referees, do you think there will be a shortage in target setters in the future? And are you training any? Well, we know you're training 2.
They won't listen. It's quite concerning. If you sit down and think, when I first started in 2004, the amount of competition grounds we had is a lot less now than what it was then. So, in essence, competition target setters are becoming fewer.
Yeah.
More grounds are moving towards pay and play practice. Rightly or wrongly, I don't know. It's one thing I've never thought about, to be honest, for the future.
Well, let's look. If there was going to be a world championship in England, because I knew this question was coming, I've got my list here. You would have, and without going to a shooter, and we know that shooters can get them very wrong, as well as very right. You could only go Tom Jones, yourself, or Dyson.
Yeah.
That's it. So I think the answer is yes, we could head to a shortage.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you need to let Harry and Charlie loose.
They're both older than me as well, aren't they?
You wait until you got every ground. It'll just be Steve setting targets at Kegworth next week.
No, I don't know. I sincerely hope the competition will stay strong. I really do. Because it's my big passion. It's what we started this game for, really.
Yeah. But no, I think the answer is yes. Steve is training 2. He's training both his sons, and you let them do stands here and there, and not one of them's let you down yet.
No, they haven't, and they do, particularly at Westfield and Garland's, they do more and more each week now.
I don't know how Charlie sets anything when he's walking around holding hands, though.
No, that's Harry.
Oh, sorry, Harry, I meant.
No, it's both of them actually. To be fair, that's what I mean. They won't listen.
Steve, which target do you think is missed the most?
Hard to say, really. You know, I see a lot of quartering rabbits missed. It's anything with a tricky angle on it. If you put an acute angle on it, generally at sort of a slower speed, they tend to get missed. What happened then?
You get an hour and it kicks off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's quite interesting, isn't it? If you have a target that's set like this, if you've got just a regular target and we stand here, and that target becomes a totally different target. So
Yeah.
the angle of which you choose to set it at,
Yeah.
can actually change that. You know, I'd much rather shoot a full 90-degree batu than a 45-degree batu.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
if that makes sense.
And that's one beauty why I really love old-fashioned FitAsk, because you're just moving around the angles with 3 hoops, aren't you?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest problems with old style FitAsk was when people started to take the money and get lazy, just went bang, 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 3 pegs in a row.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that was what ruined old style FitAsk, was when they realised, well, I can charge a lot more money and just throw 3 hoops out. And that sort of was its own demise when the guys stopped doing what you do, and you got one up here, one here, one down here.
Yeah.
Where the targets did actually change.
Yeah. Definitely.
Do you think, Steve, to be a good course setter, you have to be a good shot?
No. No, not really. No.
I think you have to have a good understanding of shooting.
Yeah. The amount of times we've been to a shoot and I'm thinking, we'll shoot that bird there. What the bloody hell they put that one right over there for? And, well, it makes it hard for not the right reasons.
Yeah. Agreed. Christine, what made you start the clay shooting company?
Oh, that's an easy one. I used to be a farm manager on a big game shooting estate in the Cotswolds, which is neighbouring to Westfield. And I got into clay shooting as a hobby again and used to visit Chatham at the time, which is Ian Coley's now. Got quite friendly with Jim French, who was the instructor up there. And he introduced me to the CPSA. I've never heard of the CPSA before. And to cut a very long story short, he started taking me around the shoot. So I joined the CPSA, showed a bit of interest with him. He showed me what traps could do. I had to set springs and whatever else. And I had a mate of mine who wanted to do a stag party. And I said, yeah, let's go shooting. So we went up to Coley's, did the shooting and made a bit of money on it. And I thought, actually, this could be a nice plan B here. And it's all gone from there, really. Myself and Alison at the time, we bought our first 24, 26 traps in 2004 and started out the back of a trailer and a truck, for the ones that remember the time.
Yeah,
and
the white trailer.
Just went from there.
Here's a good question. Would you consider holding training courses for course setters?
I don't know what you could.
So one thing I'll jump in there is they do this in America and they are rammed.
Really?
right, we're going to walk up to this area of Westfield. Right, what would you set here? And they all say what they would set. And you can say, right, well, where's the sun going to be? Where's the wing going to be?
Oh, okay, from that point of view, yes.
And you just sort of walk them round and give them what your ideas are. You say, well, the next stand I'd put a big crosser on. You say, well, we can't put a big crosser on because it's going to land on that stand. And they just sort of walk them through on how to do it. And the seminars are rammed.
Yeah. The big problem I have, and I've always had it, and I always will have it, is it's the same with coaching. People say, can I have an hour of coaching with it? And no, the answer is no, you can't. I basically know what to do, but I really struggle to translate it in layman's terms that people can understand.
Then you should definitely become a shooting coach because you sound like you fit the bill perfectly.
Harry's here. He'll tell you exactly the same. I haven't taught him to shoot, really. They've taught themselves.
Yeah, you can tell they're a lot better.
Got me a cup of tea. Good lad.
For which discipline do you like to set the most? FITAS, sporting, or sport trap?
I like to set them all. The one I not struggle with, the one I have to put a lot more thought into is the sport trap.
Yeah.
To get that right.
Especially over 4 layouts as well. You can just end up repeating yourself.
Yeah, we don't do that much of it. So I do a lot of sketch plans and really put a lot of thought into that.
I've heard, this is not a question for you, it's a question in general for people that don't understand FITAS. I've heard you and others state that FITAS is more expensive than 100 Sporting. Why is that?
It's quite simple, really, because we're limited on the amount of income in a day for the squads that we put through.
Yeah,
it's just a commercial basis.
Mate, there's about 30 people on here saying that they're interested in the target setting course. So it's I spoke to you about that before. Which one's that?
He's a knob, isn't he? That's Harry.
Right, I think we caught up with all the questions on there, mate. How often are you going to have a shoot at Faux Degler?
Things are changing a little bit at Faux Degler because of this coronavirus. We've basically decided, I spoke to Mike Faux up there last week or the week before. No, it's last week. And we're going to put things on hold for this year and review it again in the winter, ready for next spring.
We might as well, though, hadn't you? Because you could end up taking a load of stuff up there and not being able to, being able to run any shoots or anything like that. So, mate, that's all of my questions, and that's all of the questions on here. That's another hour just flew past.
Cool.
We're actually gonna move with some. No, mate, thank you very much for coming on. Like I say, it's absolutely superb. The numbers have been off the charts tonight. Right, here's a question for you from Jamaica. Hopefully, there's a real close friend of mine called O'Neill Brown, who's the target setter for the Skeet Club in Jamaica. Now, in Jamaica, this guy lives up in the bush, takes 7 miles to walk to work every day. I'm hoping that they've managed to get him set up with Instagram and he's coming on after you.
Oh, okay.
They set him up to learn from you today to watch this for an hour. They got a cell phone to him and everything. So I'm hoping he can come on, but he's never even seen a cell phone, so we don't know. Here's a question from Jamaica. On a 15 station layout, how many traps would you use other than standards?
Generally, I use a couple of Batus, 1 rabbit, and possibly a couple of middies. And that's it. The rest will be standards.
Would you class a standard still as a standard chandelle, or is that?
Yeah. There's a massive misconception between a chandelle and a Batu.
Yeah.
So, I would probably say speciality traps. You'd have a couple of Batus, a rabbit, a midi, and a chandelle. Yeah. So 5 out of the 24, really.
Yeah, that's on a 12 station course.
Yeah.
No, brilliant, mate. I just dropped in at the last minute. Okay, Phil's been adamant to ask this. I did skip it once earlier on. Do you consider colour blindness with clays? I mean, you can't consider... I
don't... The answer is no. I can see them all.
Yeah.
The only one I've really struggled with in the past is a bright yellow on a green background.
Yeah.
other than that, you know, some say they can see orange, some say they can't see white, some say they can't see pink.
A lot of people can't see the ones they miss. Khalil, is O'Neill ready yet? Because let me know. Just give me the thumbs up if he's ready. Steve, what's all these 5 to 10 yards rabbits about? They're not a sporting shot.
I tend not to put a close rabbit on. A great shooter, I won't name him, once said to me, it is a sporting shot because rabbits predominantly are vermin, so we need to kill them. So if it was out in the wild, if it was 5 yards away, you'd still shoot it, which you would. It's how different people see it. That's the beauty of sporting. We all see it differently.
Yeah.
I don't like to see them. I've learned how to shoot the bloody thing, but I don't like to see them.
All right, mate. That's them all. So,
All right.
mate, brilliant. Thanks a lot for coming on again. It's superb. People love you. So, thank you very much for coming on, pal.
See you later.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Right, this one